everyone. Welcome back to Smart Learning. I'm Lisa.
And I'm David. Today, we're counting down 10 amazing facts about the world that'll make you see our planet and the universe a little differently.
Hello. We're excited to show you our native speech capabilities.
Where you can direct a voice, create realistic dialogue, and so much more. Edit these placeholders to get started.
Each fact is like a mini adventure. Science, history, nature, and some wait, what moments.
Stay to the end for a fun recap challenge and tell us how many of these you already knew. Ready?
Let's dive in.
Lisa, here's a brain bender. On Venus, one day is longer than 1 year.
Longer than a year? That sounds like a cosmic glitch.
It's real. Venus spins extremely slowly on its axis. So slowly that completing one full rotation, that's a day, takes more time than going once around the sun. That's a year.
Okay, let's unpack. On Earth, we spin in about 24 hours, our day, and orbit the sun in 365 days, our year. But on Venus?
Venus's rotation is painfully slow, roughly 243 Earth days to make one full spin. Meanwhile, it orbits the sun in about 225 Earth days. So the day you'd experience standing on Venus, sunrise to sunrise, actually outlasts its trip around the sun.
So if someone planned a birthday on Venus, they'd go around the sun once and still be waiting for noon?
Exactly. Bring snacks.
But why so slow?
Astronomers think several factors play a role. Tidal interactions with the sun, a thick atmosphere that's constantly pushing like a global break, and possibly ancient giant impacts that altered its spin.
And Venus spins the wrong way too, right?
Yep, retrograde rotation. If you hovered above the solar system's north pole, most planets spin counterclockwise. Venus spins clockwise. So on Venus, the sun would appear to rise in the west and set in the east.
That's trippy. And the atmosphere? I've heard Venus is not exactly vacation-friendly.
It's brutal. The atmosphere is thick, primarily carbon dioxide with clouds of sulfuric acid. The surface pressure is about 90 times Earth's, like being a kilometer underwater.
And the temperature?
Around 465 degrees Celsius, about 869 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt lead. Venus is even hotter than Mercury, despite being farther from the sun, because its greenhouse effect is off the charts.
So imagine standing there. The sky is a pale yellow haze. The sun's path is reversed. The air crushes you, and your day drags on for months.
The ultimate long day at work.
I love how this one fact instantly challenges our Earth-centered intuition. We assume day less than year is universal.
But space says surprise.
Any cool missions heading to Venus?
Yes, there's renewed interest. Agencies plan orbiter and probe missions to study the atmosphere, geology, and whether Venus once had oceans. Some hypotheses suggest ancient Venus could have been more Earth-like before a runaway greenhouse transformed it.
So Venus might be a warning from the future?
A cautionary tale. Understanding Venus helps us understand climate dynamics, how atmospheres evolve, and how delicate planetary balance can be.
And it gives us an unforgettable line. On Venus, a day is longer than a year.
Put that in your trivia arsenal.
Let's zoom from planet-sized time warps to micro-marvels. Meet the tardigrade, aka the water bear. 8 chubby legs, a cute vacuum hose mouth, and survival skills that put superheroes to shame. Tardigrades are microscopic animals. Think 0.3 to 0.5 millimeters long that live everywhere. Moss, soil, leaf litter, fresh water, even the deep sea.
What makes them legendary is their cryptobiosis, a state where they shut down almost all biological activity and dry out into a tiny capsule called a ton.
Like hitting pause on life.
Exactly. In the ton state, their metabolism drops to near zero. They lose most of their water, their body shrivels, and they pack themselves with protective molecules like trehalose and special tardigrade proteins that act like molecular bubble wrap.
Why go to such extremes?
Because their homes can be extreme. Moss can dry out, freeze, get blasted by UV. Tardigrades survive by waiting it out. When conditions improve, they rehydrate and resume life.
How extreme are we talking?
Tests show tardigrades in cryptobiosis can tolerate freezing well below water's normal freezing point, even close to absolute zero in lab setups. Heat spikes well above what most life can stand for short periods. Intense radiation, levels that would destroy DNA in other animals thanks to DNA repair mechanisms and protective proteins. Vacuum of space. Some experiments exposed tardigrades to outer space conditions, vacuum plus radiation. A portion survived and revived afterward.
That's wild. We're talking space-tested animals.
With asterisks, not immortal, not invincible, limits exist. Prolonged extremes can still kill them, but compared to most organisms, they're astonishingly robust.
The ton is their supersuit. How long can they stay paused?
Reports vary from years to decades in very dry, cold conditions. When water returns, they inflate like tiny biological sponges and walk away.
This raises a philosophical question. If your metabolism is near zero, are you alive or waiting to be alive?
Biologists would say alive, but dormant. Life can be flexible with definitions. Seed dormancy is similar in spirit, but tardigrades take it to cinematic levels.
Any practical uses for humans?
Plenty of inspiration. Researchers study tardigrade proteins for stabilizing vaccines without refrigeration, protecting cells during drying or freezing, and maybe even enhancing DNA repair.
Imagine food that ships without cold storage because it's tardigrade-style stabilized. Or medicines that last longer in harsh conditions. Space agencies also care. If we want long missions, preserving biological samples safely is crucial. Do tardigrades ever cause problems?
Not really. They're not parasites of humans. They're part of tiny ecosystems and are mostly adorable under a microscope.
I love that something so tough looks like a little plush toy.
Same. Plus, they walk with this slow, deliberate gait, like a tiny bear on the moon.
If you were a tardigrade and life got rough, what would be your trigger to ton up?
Monday mornings.
Valid. Bottom line, tardigrades show that life survival strategies can be incredibly creative. Dry out, lock down, repair later. From cosmic timelines on Venus to time-pausing microanimals on Earth, our world is already stranger than fiction.
And we're just getting started.
All right, David, fact 3 might make you hungry. Honey never spoils.
Seriously? You mean like the jar sitting in my pantry from 2015? Still good?
Absolutely. In fact, archaeologists have found thousands of years old honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that was still perfectly edible. Imagine tasting something from 3000 BCE.
That's incredible. So what's the secret? How does honey last so long without going bad?
It's all about chemistry and bees' ingenuity. Honey is naturally low in water and highly acidic. Its pH is usually between 3.2 and 4.5. Microbes can't survive in it because there's not enough water to support their growth, and the acidity acts as a natural preservative.
Low water content, acid, it's basically a microbial fortress. But what about those times honey crystallizes? Is it spoiled then?
Low water content? Acid. It's basically a microbial fortress. But what about those times honey crystallizes? Is it spoiled then?
Wow, bees really know what they're doing. I've heard there are special enzymes too.
Correct. Bees add an enzyme called glucose oxidase. It slowly breaks down sugar into hydrogen peroxide, which gives honey antibacterial properties. That's why honey has been used for thousands of years as medicine.
So honey isn't just food, it's a natural medicine jar?
Exactly. Ancient Egyptians used honey for wound treatment, and even in modern medicine, honey is studied for healing properties. Some hospitals still use medical grade honey on burns and ulcers.
That's amazing. I also read that honey has antioxidants and phytonutrients that protect our bodies from free radicals.
Yes, different types of honey contain varying levels of phenolic compounds, flavonoids, and other antioxidants. Darker honey usually has more antioxidants than lighter varieties.
So honey is delicious, medicinal, and antioxidant rich. Anything else?
Plenty. The way bees make honey is fascinating too. They collect nectar, partially digest it by mixing it with enzymes, then evaporate water by fanning their wings. The result? Thick, sweet, naturally preserved honey.
I love the teamwork. Bees are like tiny chemical engineers.
Right? And here's a fun twist. Honey has been used as currency in religious rituals and even in embalming. The Egyptians prized it highly. Greeks called it the nectar of the gods, and Romans used it in desserts and drinks.
So honey has history, culture, science, and health all wrapped in one golden jar.
Exactly. And the best part? Even modern scientists marvel at its long shelf life. They found jars sealed for over 3,000 years, still perfectly edible.
Incredible. It's like nature's own time capsule.
Yes, and honey can even survive extreme conditions. While it may darken or crystallize, it rarely spoils, making it one of the most resilient natural foods on Earth.
Any tips for storing honey properly at home?
Store it in a sealed container at room temperature. Avoid excess moisture. And don't refrigerate. It accelerates crystallization.
Makes sense. I guess next time I open my old honey jar, I'll think, this is literally thousands of years old in taste.
Exactly. It's like eating history and science together.
And here's a trivia bonus for our viewers. Some scientists say that honey could potentially last indefinitely if kept sealed and dry. The oldest honey found was from ancient Egyptian tombs, over 3,000 years old, still edible.
Imagine that. A sweet snack from ancient history, and it tastes just like today's honey.
Mind-blowing. From flavor to medicine to culture, honey truly is one of nature's marvels.
Fact 3 is officially sticky and sweet. Ready for the next mind-bending fact?
Absolutely. Let's dive into the next amazing world wonder. All right, Lisa. Fact 4 is going to take us underwater. Ever wondered about the mind-boggling world of octopuses? 3 hearts, blue blood, 8 arms. These creatures are full of surprises.
Oh, yes, I've heard some crazy things. Blue blood? That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's real. Octopuses have copper-based hemocyanin in their blood, which makes it blue. This molecule carries oxygen much more efficiently than our red iron-based hemoglobin, especially in cold, low-oxygen waters.
Fascinating. And the 3 hearts?
Yes, 2 hearts pump blood to the gills while the third pumps it to the rest of the body. Here's the crazy part. When an octopus swims, the heart that sends blood to the body actually stops beating. Imagine trying to exercise while your main heart takes a coffee break.
That explains why they prefer crawling to swimming. Less stress on the heart.
Exactly, but it doesn't stop there. Octopuses are incredibly intelligent. They can solve puzzles, open jars, use tools, and even escape from enclosures in labs.
Wow, tool use underwater. That's advanced. What about communication?
They're masters of camouflage and signaling. Through specialized cells called chromatophores, they can change color and texture almost instantly. They use it to hide from predators, ambush prey, and even communicate with other octopuses.
I've seen videos of octopuses mimicking rocks and coral. It's like they're practicing magic.
It's all biological magic. Some species even display complex problem-solving skills, remembering solutions and adapting quickly to new challenges. Scientists have observed octopuses opening child-proof jars in labs after learning techniques from other octopuses.
That's impressive. And their brains. I've heard they have a large brain-to-body ratio compared to other invertebrates.
Correct. While most mollusks are relatively simple, octopuses have about 500 million neurons, with a significant portion in their arms. Each arm can operate semi-independently, almost like it has its own mini-brain.
So each arm has a mind of its own? That's incredible.
Yes, it allows complex coordination, grasping, exploring, manipulating objects without always relying on the central brain.
What about their lifespan?
Most octopuses live 1 to 2 years, though some, like the giant Pacific octopus, can live up to 5 years. Short lives, but packed with intelligence and adaptability.
And reproduction? I've heard it's intense.
It is. Males have a specialized arm called a hectocotylus to transfer sperm to females. After laying eggs, the female often guards them without eating and usually dies shortly after the eggs hatch. Their dedication is extreme.
Talk about parental sacrifice and predators?
Predators include sharks, eels, dolphins, and even humans. Octopuses rely on camouflage, ink clouds, and rapid escape to survive.
Ink clouds? How does that work?
The ink, called sepia, can obscure a predator's view, mask scent trails, and give the octopus time to escape. Some species even release toxic mucus along with ink for extra defense. And let's not forget their regenerative abilities. If an octopus loses an arm, it can regrow it completely. Combine that with camouflage, problem-solving, and multiple hearts, and you have one of the most amazing creatures on Earth.
Truly remarkable. 8 legs, 3 hearts, blue blood, brains in their arms, masters of disguise. It's like an alien life form living in our oceans.
Exactly. And here's a fun fact. Octopuses have been observed throwing shells, rocks, and debris at predators, or even other octopuses, almost like using tools or weapons.
That's hilarious and terrifying at the same time. Imagine a little octopus throwing rocks at you underwater.
Nature is full of surprises. Octopuses remind us that intelligence, adaptability, and survival strategies come in many forms beyond mammals.
And their story is far from over. From problem solving to camouflage to unique circulation systems, these creatures continue to inspire scientists and enthusiasts alike.
Fact 4 complete. Our oceans are full of mind-blowing life, and the octopus is a shining example.
Ready to explore Fact 5? I promise it's going to take us even further into the strange and amazing world. David, have you ever imagined the Sahara Desert not as endless sand, but as a lush green landscape filled with lakes, rivers, and wildlife?
Wait, the Sahara? Green? You mean like a giant park instead of desert?
Exactly. Thousands of years ago, the Sahara was a thriving ecosystem. Paleoclimatic studies and fossil records show that humans, hippos, crocodiles, elephants, and even fish once lived there.
That's hard to picture. How do we know this?
Well, scientists study fossils, sediment layers, pollen samples, and ancient rock art. Cave paintings show scenes of animals grazing, people hunting, and rivers flowing. One famous site in Algeria depicts giraffes and lions, indicating that the Sahara wasn't always barren.
Incredible. So when did this green Sahara exist?
The Sahara went through several cycles. During the African humid period, roughly 11,000 to 5,000 years ago, monsoon rains increased dramatically, turning the desert into a savanna with lakes and rivers.
So it's all about climate cycles.
Exactly. Earth's axial tilt and orbital changes, known as Milankovitch cycles, affect solar radiation patterns, influencing monsoon intensity. When the rains were strong, the desert flourished. When they weakened, sand took over.
Wow. So ancient humans were living in what is now one of the harshest deserts on Earth?
Yes, archaeologists have discovered stone tools, pottery, and ancient settlements in what is now sand dunes. People adapted to changing conditions, moving with the rivers and lakes.
And the wildlife must have been astonishing. Crocodiles, hippos, in the middle of today's Sahara?
Exactly. Fossils of large mammals and fish have been found in the desert, proving that water sources were abundant. This green Sahara was a rich ecosystem supporting both humans and animals.
So what happened? Why did it become a desert?
Gradual climate change. Around 5,000 years ago, monsoon rains shifted southwards, reducing precipitation. Vegetation died off, lakes dried, rivers vanished, and sand dunes advanced. Humans and animals migrated to Nile Valley and sub-Saharan regions.
Nature's transformation is dramatic. One day, it's a thriving ecosystem, and the next, it's the Sahara we know today.
And it's a lesson for us. Climate change can drastically alter landscapes, even on Earth's timescales.
True. But I have to ask, are there remnants of this green Sahara visible today?
Yes, satellites have revealed ancient riverbeds, lake beds, and underground aquifers. You can see them as pale lines and depressions across the desert. Some areas still contain fossils of the wildlife that once thrived.
So the desert hides its history beneath the sand. Amazing.
And some archaeologists continue to discover prehistoric art and settlements, giving insights into human life thousands of years ago. It's like a time machine buried under sand.
I love how this challenges our idea of deserts being lifeless. The Sahara was once a fertile land supporting diverse life.
Exactly. And the Sahara story isn't unique. Other deserts like the Arabian and Gobi also experienced wetter periods in the past. Earth's climate has always been dynamic and ever-changing.
So this isn't just about history. It's about understanding climate, survival, and adaptation.
Right. And for our viewers, imagine walking through the Sahara thousands of years ago. Hippos in the rivers, elephants roaming, humans thriving in fertile lands. Completely different from today's golden dunes.
Mind-blowing. From dry sand to lush savanna and back, the Sahara teaches us that nature is resilient but ever-changing.
Fact 5 complete. Next up, we dive into Antarctica, Earth's largest desert, which will challenge everything you think about deserts. David, when most people think of deserts, they imagine blistering hot sand dunes. But did you know that Antarctica is actually the largest desert on Earth?
Antarctica? Seriously? That icy continent? How does ice count as a desert?
It's all about precipitation. Deserts are defined not by heat, but by how little rain or snow they receive. Antarctica gets an average of only 20 millimeters of precipitation per year in the interior, basically a trickle.
Wow, that's even drier than the Sahara in some places. But it's covered in ice, so it's hard to picture.
Exactly. The ice might look like a huge water source, but it's frozen over thousands of years, and most of it never melts. So technically, it's a cold desert.
That's mind-blowing. So, deserts aren't just hot sand. They can be frozen wastelands too.
Right. Antarctica is roughly 14 million square kilometers, which is more than twice the size of Australia. That makes it the largest desert in the world.
Incredible. What else makes it extreme?
Temperatures can drop below minus 80 degrees Celsius, minus 112 degrees Fahrenheit, in the interior during winter. That's colder than any naturally recorded temperature on Earth elsewhere. Even in summer, the interior might only reach minus 30 degrees Celsius, minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit.
And I assume life there is rare?
Exactly. Very few species live inland. Microbes, fungi, and some hardy invertebrates survive in tiny pockets of ice-free land. Most visible life, penguins, seals, and seabirds, lives along the coast.
So it's a desert in every sense, dry, inhospitable, and extreme.
Yes, and the Antarctic wind makes it even harsher. Katabatic winds rush downhill from the ice sheets, sometimes reaching 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles per hour. That can freeze or desiccate anything exposed.
Nature's way of saying, stay away.
Pretty much. But despite the harshness, humans have studied and explored Antarctica for over a century. Scientific bases operate year-round, mainly for climate research, glaciology, and astronomy.
That must be challenging. How do people survive there?
Absolutely. Ice cores drilled from kilometers deep can tell us about Earth's climate over hundreds of thousands of years. We learn about past greenhouse gas levels, glacial cycles, and even historical volcanic eruptions.
So this frozen desert is like a time capsule of Earth's climate history.
Exactly. And it's a critical indicator of global warming. Small temperature changes can cause massive ice sheet shifts, affecting sea levels worldwide.
It's humbling. A place that seems lifeless is actually full of secrets and knowledge about our planet.
And there's more. Antarctica also hosts subglacial lakes, such as Lake Vostok, buried beneath 4 kilometers of ice, isolated for millions of years. Scientists are studying these lakes for extremophile life forms and even as analogs for extraterrestrial environments like Europa or Enceladus.
That's fascinating. Life can survive in complete darkness, extreme pressure, and sub-zero temperatures, proof of nature's resilience.
Exactly. From frozen deserts to subglacial lakes, Antarctica is a treasure trove of science.
And unlike other deserts, it's almost pristine, protected by the Antarctic Treaty, which preserves it for peaceful scientific purposes.
Fact 6 complete. The largest desert isn't a hot, sandy wasteland. It's a frozen world, full of secrets, science, and extreme beauty. David, have you ever wondered if Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth, actually changes its height over time?
I always thought it was fixed at 8,848 meters. Does it grow?
Yes, Mount Everest gains a few millimeters every year due to tectonic activity.
Tectonic activity, so the Earth's plates are moving under it?
Exactly. Everest sits on the boundary between the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates. The Indian plate is slowly pushing northward into the Eurasian plate, causing the Himalayas, including Everest, to rise.
That's incredible. How fast is it growing?
Studies show it grows about 4 millimeters per year on average. Tiny, but over centuries, it adds up.
So climbers are scaling a moving target. That's mind-blowing.
It gets even more interesting. Earthquakes in the region can shift Everest's height temporarily. For example, the 2015 Nepal earthquake slightly changed its elevation.
So the mountain is alive in a geological sense.
Exactly. And it's not just height. The Himalayan range itself is rising, with peaks growing due to plate collisions. This process also causes earthquakes and landslides.
I've always been fascinated by the extreme conditions climbers face. The air is so thin at the summit.
Right. Above 8,000 meters, the oxygen level is about 1/3 of sea level. This is called the death zone, where the human body cannot acclimate fully.
Yet climbers risk it every year. Are there other dangers besides oxygen?
Plenty. Avalanches, extreme cold, high winds, frostbite, and altitude sickness. And don't forget, the mountain is covered in ice and snow that shift constantly.
So the terrain itself is unpredictable.
Exactly. Plus, climate change is affecting Everest. Glaciers are melting faster, increasing rockfall risks. Some climbing routes are becoming more dangerous.
Wow, nature's dynamic system at its finest. But how do scientists measure the mountain's height so precisely?
They used satellite technology, GPS, and trigonometry. Recent surveys in 2020 confirmed Everest's height as 8,848.86 meters, slightly taller than previous measurements.
So every year, even if just by a few millimeters, it's getting taller. That's amazing.
And historically, Everest has eroded over millions of years, but tectonic uplift outpaces erosion. That's why it's still the highest peak on Earth.
Incredible. The mountain is literally growing while we watch, shaped by Earth's slow but powerful forces.
Exactly. And climbers, geologists, and adventurers all marvel at this ever-changing natural wonder.
Fun fact, did you know the first confirmed ascent was in 1953 by Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay?
Yes, and now thousands attempt Everest each year, facing extreme risk but also experiencing a unique connection to the planet's geological history.
Mountains really tell a story about Earth's movements, climate, and the endurance of life.
Fact 7 complete. Mount Everest isn't just tall, it's living, moving, and growing. David, are you ready to dive to the deepest place on Earth? No, I'm not talking about caves. I mean the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, wow. The Mariana Trench. That's like a black hole in the ocean, right? How deep is it exactly?
The Challenger Deep, the trench's deepest point, is around 10,900 meters, 35,800 feet. That's almost 7 miles beneath the ocean surface.
That's insane. I can barely imagine being even a few hundred meters underwater.
Right? It's so deep that if you dropped Mount Everest into it, the peak would still be underwater by more than 2 kilometers.
Mind-blowing. So what's down there? Anything alive?
Surprisingly, yes. Even in the crushing pressure of the trench, over 1,000 times the pressure at sea level, life thrives. Microbes, shrimp-like creatures, and even some fish have adapted to survive.
Incredible. What adaptations help them survive that pressure?
Their bodies are soft and flexible with special proteins that prevent cell damage. Many creatures are also bioluminescent, creating their own light in total darkness.
That's like a completely alien world. How did humans even explore it?
The first ascent was in 1960 by the Bath Escape Trieste, manned by Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh. They reached the Challenger Deep but saw very little, mostly darkness and tiny life forms.
And now we have submarines and robots exploring it?
Yes, modern submersibles and remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, have sent back detailed images and samples. Scientists continue to discover new species, proving how unexplored this trench really is.
Incredible. I heard they even found plastic down there.
Unfortunately, yes, microplastics have reached the trench, showing how human impact extends even to the deepest oceans. It's both amazing and sobering.
So, the Mariana Trench is a place of extremes, pressure, darkness, cold, and yet life persists.
Exactly. Temperatures are just above freezing, sunlight never reaches, and yet these ecosystems survive. It's a masterclass in adaptation.
And what about geography? How did it form?
It's a subduction zone where the Pacific Plate slides beneath the Mariana Plate. This tectonic activity creates the extreme depth. The trench continues to shift and deform over time.
Nature never ceases to amaze. And what about humans trying to reach it today?
Explorers like James Cameron in 2012 made solo dives, bringing high-definition cameras and sensors to study the trench in unprecedented detail.
And the discoveries keep coming, right?
Yes, scientists keep finding new species, microbial communities, and even unique chemical processes. It's one of the last frontiers on Earth.
I love how it combines science, adventure, and mystery. It's like space exploration, but underwater.
Exactly. And think about this. The pressure down there is so high that humans can't survive without special submersibles. Every descent is a high-risk mission, requiring precision engineering.
Nature's own extreme challenge for human ingenuity.
And it reminds us that our planet still has hidden worlds waiting to be discovered. The Mariana Trench is proof that even on Earth, there's so much we haven't seen.
Fact 8, complete. From crushing pressure to bioluminescent life, the Mariana Trench is Earth's ultimate deep-sea mystery.
Ready for Fact 9? We're going to explore something that literally shines in the dark: bioluminescent wonders of the ocean. David, imagine swimming in the deep, dark ocean and seeing the water around you light up magically. That's the world of bioluminescence.
Wait, creatures that make their own light? Like underwater stars?
Exactly. Thousands of marine organisms, from tiny plankton to fish and jellyfish, can produce light through chemical reactions in their bodies.
That's amazing. How does it work exactly?
Bioluminescence is produced when a chemical called luciferin reacts with oxygen with the help of the enzyme luciferase. This reaction releases energy as light. Some species can even control the color and intensity of their glow.
Wow. So it's like nature's own underwater light show.
Yes, and it's not just beautiful, it's functional. Animals use it for communication, camouflage, hunting, and defense.
Communication? How does that work underwater?
For example, some deep-sea squid flash patterns to signal mates or warn rivals. Firefly squid can light up in waves, creating mesmerizing displays that attract partners.
Incredible. And hunting?
Anglerfish are famous. They have a bioluminescent lure that attracts prey close enough to catch. Some jellyfish and deep-sea fish use glowing appendages to lure unsuspecting victims.
And defense?
Many species use sudden flashes or glowing clouds to confuse predators. Some squid release bioluminescent ink instead of dark ink, lighting up the water while escaping.
That's genius. Evolution really is an artist.
And the scale is staggering. Phytoplankton, tiny single-celled organisms, create massive glowing waves when disturbed. On a dark night, the ocean can literally sparkle as bioluminescent plankton react to waves or swimming animals.
That's like swimming in a galaxy. Nature really outdoes human imagination.
Exactly. And bioluminescence isn't limited to the deep sea. Some shallow water organisms, like certain jellyfish, shrimp, and bacteria, glow too.
I've read that scientists are studying bioluminescence for medical imaging and environmental monitoring.
Yes, by understanding how organisms produce light, researchers develop bioluminescent markers in labs to track cells or detect pollutants. It's biology inspiring technology.
And how do humans witness this underwater magic?
Diving in certain places at night, like the Maldives or Puerto Rico, reveals glowing plankton. In deep-sea submersibles, scientists can observe bioluminescent fish, jellyfish, and other deep-sea creatures in their natural habitat.
I imagine it's surreal, like floating in a liquid galaxy, surrounded by tiny living lights.
That's a perfect description. And the variety is mind-blowing. Different colors, patterns, intensities, and purposes. Some use red light invisible to predators. Others flash bright blue to communicate.
So it's not just beauty, it's survival, evolution, and adaptation.
Absolutely. Bioluminescence shows us that life thrives even in complete darkness, using creativity and chemistry to survive. Fact 9, complete. The ocean isn't just mysterious, it glows with life in ways we're only beginning to understand. Ready for the final mind-blowing fact? Fact 10? It's about something that defies gravity and stretches across the solar system. David, for our final fact, let's look beyond Earth to the center of our solar system, the Sun.
Ah, yes, the sun. I know it's a star, but sometimes I forget just how important it is for life on Earth.
Absolutely. The Sun is a medium-sized star, a G-type main sequence star. But without it, life as we know it wouldn't exist.
I get the warmth and light part, but what else does the sun do for us?
Plenty. First, it drives Earth's climate and weather systems. Solar energy heats the atmosphere, oceans, and land, creating winds, rain, and currents. Without the sun, Earth would be a frozen wasteland.
And plants?
Photosynthesis. Plants convert sunlight into chemical energy, forming the base of the food chain. Every bite of food we eat ultimately depends on the sun's energy.
Wow. So even humans are powered by sunlight, indirectly.
Exactly. And the sun influences seasons. Earth's tilt and orbit around the sun cause changes in sunlight exposure, giving us spring, summer, autumn, and winter.
That's basic science, but still mind-blowing when you think about the mechanics.
And there's more. The sun's magnetic activity produces solar flares and coronal mass ejections, which interact with Earth's magnetic field to create auroras, the northern and southern lights.
So the sun gives us both energy and natural light shows.
And there's more. The sun's magnetic activity produces solar flares and coronal mass ejections, which interact with Earth's magnetic field to create auroras, the northern and southern lights.
So the sun gives us both energy and natural light shows.
Yes, and without its gravitational pull, the planets wouldn't orbit. The sun's gravity keeps the solar system stable.
Makes sense. And what about its composition?
Mostly hydrogen, 74%, and helium, 24%, with trace amounts of heavier elements. In its core, nuclear fusion converts hydrogen into helium, releasing vast amounts of energy, the sunlight and heat we receive.
That fusion process has been going on for billions of years, right?
Yes, about 4.6 billion years, and it's expected to continue for another 5 billion years before the sun evolves into a red giant.
Incredible. And life on Earth has evolved in perfect timing with the sun's energy.
Exactly. Sunlight also regulates human circadian rhythms, affects vitamin D production, and even influences weather patterns and ecosystems.
So we literally rely on the sun for energy, health, and life itself.
Correct. And let's not forget solar research. Understanding the sun helps predict space weather, which can affect satellites, power grids, and communications on Earth.
I've heard solar storms can knock out electricity in large areas, so knowing the sun's behavior is crucial.
Definitely. Scientists monitor sunspots, flares, and coronal mass ejections to protect technology and life.
And culturally, the sun has always been significant, worshipped as a god, symbolizing life, energy, and time.
True. From the ancient Egyptians Ra to the Japanese Amaterasu, humans have revered the sun for millennia.
So fact 10 brings everything together: astronomy, biology, culture, and survival.
Exactly. The sun isn't just a star in the sky. It's the heart of our solar system and the reason life exists on Earth.
Fact 10 complete. From the micro wonders of honey to the macro power of the sun, we've explored some of the most mind-blowing facts about our world and universe.
Thank you for joining us, viewers. Remember, curiosity and wonder drive learning. Keep exploring, asking questions, and discovering the extraordinary in the ordinary.
And that wraps up our 10 mind-blowing facts series. Stay tuned for more incredible science, nature, and exploration adventures.